let's just start. Tell me a little bit about yourself and how basketball came so big in your life.
I started playing basketball since I was 14 years old. And in La Victoria, in my hometown, in school. And then I went to a bigger club in La Laguna. This club is called today Yver Tenerife, to make some tryouts to become a player in this club. Then they picked me up there, and after that I played 10 years in this club. And when I was 23 years old, the club, same organization, gave me the opportunity to become a coach. They want to keep me in the coaching staff, in the organization, running the youth program, and they helped me a lot to to take all the levels, the previous levels, all the diplomas in basketball, all the degrees, and like this became a coach and life, all my life around basketball.
Yeah, exactly. And were you happy about that, to be a coach so early in your career? Was it?
Well, from the beginning, of course, it was a little bit impact for me, because with 23 years old, I'm still, looking forward to become to continue playing basketball at the highest levels as possible. But at the same time, you have to be realistic sometimes. And what I always was sure that my life will be around basketball. And I think it was a great decision. Today, I can say that it was the best decision I could do.
Yeah, I see. And you came first here to Iceland, I think 2011.
Right.
You was coaching in some basketball camps in Söderkorku, right?
Yeah, it was basically it was like a coincidence, because the Tindastól organization sent an email to my club in Tenerife, asking for a coach. But it was not me. It was asking for the head coach in the team. But my head coach Alejandro Martinez couldn't make it, so he has asked me, look, I cannot commit to this camp in Iceland. Would you like to go? And you just check in and say, yeah, of course I will go there. And it was 2011, and it was like for 2 weeks. Yeah. And and after this basketball camp, 3 years later, or 2 years later, in 2013. I joined the Tindastól organization as a head coach.
Yeah, exactly. And has there been a lot of changes since you came first here to Iceland in the basketball here in Iceland?
I think the big change is like when I came here, it was allowed only one foreigner, basically one American player in every team, and 4 Icelandics. I think now is the 3rd season that is open for European players. Yeah. We continue with the same as for the USA players, and of course the level of the basketball has been growing. Doesn't mean that it's the best for the Icelandic basketball, to be honest, but it is true that the level is now higher and much more competitive, and much better basketball right now.
Yeah.
And you can see, for example, this season, is very, very, very tight season, and of course because of the COVID, you have a lot of games every week. Every second day you basically play, but at the same time, like I said, a lot of new players coming in with experience and good players, which means that the league obviously is much stronger.
Yeah, but there's a lot of talk about the situation in the Icelandic basketball right now. A lot of people want changes. Is that something you would like, or are you happy with the situation like it is now?
I mean,
what's the best thing for the Icelandic players?
If I am talking from my coaching, side, what I have to do is to adjust myself, exactly. to the rules, the rules that we have now, or the new rules is coming. This is from my coaching side. But from my personal perspective of the situation right now, I think that with 3 foreigners and 2 Icelandic guys on the floor, we can continue having a great level, and also very good for the young players coming up in the country to become a solid national team players or professional players in other countries overseas.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be the best solution for, well, at least
in my opinion, yes.
Yeah.
In my opinion, yes.
Okay. But You came a coach here in Haukar in 2019. What was your impression about Haukar before you came here? Because you've been in Söðurkrókur for many years. When you came here, what was Haukar in your mind?
Always Haukar has been a big organization.
Yeah.
You can see when you come into the gym. I remember when I was in Tindastóll, like we came here to play a playoff. It was a semi-finals of the playoff, and you can see when you come into the house, like how big the organization is. And of course, he has a lot of potential to be a top organization in the country. And this is with a lot of, in that moment, with a lot of good and young, talented players, especially Icelandic players. You know, in that moment, like I said, only if I remember right, when I played against Haukar my first time in playoff, it was Paul Jones, the American guy, and the other on the floor, it was Kári, Hjalmar, Breki, Emil Younger, Christian Leifur, was Finnur. I mean, a lot of players in that moment, you know, but, you know, for some reason or another, I mean, players are growing, everybody is following their dreams, and for some reason or another, they take another directions.
Was it a difficult decision to come to Hafnarfjörður?
No, it was the right decision to come to Hafnarfjörður in that moment.
And you and your family, you like it here?
Yes, of course. We are very happy to be here. We were living 4 years, but you know, in total 4 years in up north in Söðurkrókur. Nothing to complain. Very good there. I mean, also the team was very successful in that time. But like I said, 2 years ago, definitely I felt like I need to change. I need to go into an organization, you know, to coach another players, because I believe also the players need sometimes, you know, another coach with another ideas and to see another face every day. And
take a new step in the career.
Definitely.
Exactly. But what was your vision for the club when you came here? Almost 2 years ago.
When I got a meeting with Bragi, the president, and it was a really nice meeting with a very clear view about how he see his club in the present and in the future as well. And the project was very, you know, was exciting. And I mean, it took me just a second to decide to be part of this Haukar organization.
But has the vision in any way changed since then?
Well, basically, we are now. I think everything has been changed since COVID. You know, and of course, with all those breaks, you know, and beginning of the season, and then in the middle of the season, and uncertain situation, you know, we are always planning, or at least this season, we are planning always if. You know, with this every single time, you know. But I will say that last season, before the break, I got the feeling, and when I talk with the players and with the, you know, in general with the people around the organization, the team was ready to go very far away on players last season. You know? And I feel like this energy and this confidence that we have, it was for us, you know, it was tough to see how the season was stopped because of the pandemic. But in that moment, we were becoming very, very strong and solid. You know? And this season, like I said, we start with some ideas, and then the league stopped, and we have been losing a lot of players, a lot of local players that we have been less fixing, you know, some problems while the competition also, you know, is running, which means that it's a little bit more difficult. But I am optimistic and always looking forward to have the best success as possible with this organization.
It's had been a difficult time since you took over, because, like you said, last season you were sixth when the season was cancelled. You were playing pretty well, and you had a promising team. It must have been difficult to, it's the end. And then the summer comes and you have all these changes in players.
maybe, well, I think it was the hardest summertime I have ever think, you know, in trying to build or rebuild a new project, almost from zero. Of course, still some players, you know, but it was almost to rebuild a project from zero. I mean, it's just another scenario, you know. Like I said, I think one of the abilities that coaches and organizations and we should have is the ability to adjust from season to season, you know, and I think that I still believe that we are doing the correct steps. Yeah.
And this summer, of course, you got new players and it started in October, and after the first match, everything stopped again. And again, you have problems about can't practice, and again, how difficult it was to have a team and you couldn't meet them, or what did you do? How did you contact the players? Or
well, in that moment, Billy, our physical trainer, it was even more important than me in that moment. But we got you know, Zoom meetings where we made a plan to keep the players in the best shape as possible. Let's say you know, working in their home, in their own home, and trying to keep them with enough motivation, you know, and looking forward always to be ready to get into the court again.
Yeah, exactly. And finally, in January, we could compete again. You got a new player, and he got injured right away and couldn't play with you. That must have been very frustrating for you and the team. And like you said, you were building a new team. Your coach got I think it was Shane, and he had to go home. And you got a new one. He got injured. It's been like there's always something happening, something new.
Yeah.
And you have to, like you said before, adjust.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is, but again, of course, nobody likes, you know. First of all, we are sorry for Irving Morris. I mean, he's a great kid. He is still here with us, and we were just looking forward to see him on the court. Very nice guy in the locker room, always helping out. And as a player, I think he had a lot of potential, and he was exactly the type of player that we were looking for and we needed. But unfortunately, as you say, he got injured. But it's another thing, you know. I mean, these things we cannot control.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we decide to wait a little bit until to make sure that he needed the surgery, because we was hoping as well that, you know, because we saw that how good he was. So we make a decision to wait for him until the doctor say, you know, final decision is, okay, this guy needs a surgery. But maybe it was a little bit longer. I mean, I think it's difficult to play almost 10 games without your star in the team. You know, you can win, as we did against Jarvik, one game without Irving. But in the long run, the team start to scout, and the team start to see your weaknesses, and it's difficult to compete. You know, especially this year where teams has from 4 to 6 professional players.
Yeah, exactly. And you've been getting more players, Brian, Pablo. How does it feel to get all these players and trying to get them into a team?
And this is a process.
Yeah.
It's a process. Yeah. The only thing is that we don't have the precision to build this team. We are building the team while we are competing. The reason why we add those players is because we thought that we need more experience in the perimeter. I mean, we still, even though we have some experienced players, but in that moment we have most of them. I think I can say that probably we have the youngest starting lineup in the league, and we make a decision to strengthen the team by experience in another, you know, to give us another tools to the team to become more competitive. And right now we are still in this process. We played the first game against Thor Thorlesson after 3 practices together. We saw offensively the potential that we have right now, but of course, you know, we are working to get better defensively. Our second game, 3 days later, was against Jarvik. We beat them at home, unfortunately, and we could see big steps, especially defensively, you know, in the team. Yeah. And now what we really want is to continue in this line.
Yeah, yeah. It was something in the Jarvik game. You saw the guys, they wanted to fight, and there were some of them smiling. You haven't seen that in quite few time here.
Yeah, I spoke about it in another interview, especially right after the game. It was a big difference. Even though we opened the game, I will not say it great, but we opened the game correctly. But still, the faces of the players, not happy, always kind of like, with some extra pressure on them. You can see, in the faces. And on the locker room in the halftime, this is basically where we talk about, hey guys, enjoy on the floor, celebrate, stops, loose balls on the floor, jump for them, and some of our teammates make a dunk or 3-pointer or take a defense rebound or stops or offense or get a charge on defense, celebrate. And I think that they did pretty well in the second half. And I saw after actually was a key point after breaking make a 2-on-1 action. Almost the whole bench was standing, and he was like, let's go, and with this character, and the fight spirit that I think that we need. And after him it was Hansel also playing great defense, jumping off the ball. I could see Pablo, with the hands, trying to involve everybody, and the bench as well, and also coaches. I think we were very, very positive, and we fight a lot this game to get the win. And of course, we kept Njárvík in 71 points. I'm not 100% sure about it, but probably could be the lower scoring point for a team this season.
Yeah, I saw it in that game. You really wanted, like, the bench to get vocal and help the guys in the court, on the court.
I mean, I think this is basic in basketball. To be vocal on the floor. A lot of situation that basketball is action after action. And we can fix a lot of, especially defensive problems or defensive situations. We can just fix it by communication, and I think that we saw this on the floor.
And of course, with all these great players that you have now, you have a lot of possibilities, and you maybe you're still trying to find out in which situation this is the best option or something like that, because you have now a lot more of good players.
Yeah, of course, we have more tools right now in both ends, offense and defense, and our job right now is to fit everybody, to put them in the best situation as possible to bring the best for the team.
Yeah, exactly. But in the next few weeks, you have Keflavík away, and then of course 2 home games, Þór Akureyri and Grindavík. How do you see these next few weeks, next few days?
Actually, right now, we got a meeting, with players and coaches, and to be honest, we are very focused in next game. Next game is Keflavík. We will go there to win the game. And after Keflavík, I will think about Þór Akureyri, and after Þór Akureyri, I will think about Grindavík. But right now, we are just focusing in Keflavík.
What can Haukar do in this championship this season?
I mean, if you check now, the ranking is just, if we get 2 wins consecutive, we are almost in playoff. But I am a guy or a coach or a person who likes to be realistic, and the rankings say that we are still in the bottom, and our primary goal right now is to stay in a safety situation, to be in a 10th position, and after that we can work, and we can dream, or we can think in what is next step. But everything is very tight. Everything is very close. But I mean, I think it's not good. I'm not saying it's not good, but this is not right to think about, let's be in playoff right now when we don't know if we are gonna be in the Dominus League. But I see the potential of the team, and I see that the guys start to believe in how good we can be if we do the things together. And like I said, once again, the main goal right now is to win the next game.
I see. Now supporters can get back into the houses and support the team. How well good is it to have all the fans back in the house?
Definitely, it's a big factor. It's more fun as well for me, for coaches, for players. Of course, I mean, we play for them, And of course, there is also TV games where we can watch, you know, from home. But I mean, I just want to see our home court fully. You know, I know that it's only 200 or maximum 200, but as much as we can have and inside watching live our games and support us, it's gonna be much better. Because I also believe that we have to be very, very strong at home.
Yeah.
I believe that if we win all the home games from now to the end of the season, probably we will be in a great situation.
Yeah, exactly. So we want people to come to Ásvellir.
Definitely.
Yeah, and support Hauka.
I use this interview just to call everybody and come to the gym and support the team.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.